right, Rashan Ali. Rashan Ali is an actress, journalist, media personality, fitness competitor, so much more. You've done so much. You've been on Sister Circle. You've worked with Tyler Perry, acted on All the Queen's Men, Three Can Play That Game, A Christmas Blessing, The
Oh, wow.
Gospel. Worked with ESPN, NBA TV, and numerous other things. With all that you've accomplished, how do you remain so humble and hungry?
I think with any dreamer and any person who is ambitious, I think the thing about continuing to move forward is once you accomplish one thing, you're thinking about accomplishing the next. I never settle. It's not that I don't settle, it's just that I always keep moving. And I also know that God has blessed me tremendously with many gifts. And I want to leave this place very empty, meaning I want to do everything that God placed on my heart. And so, if it's acting one day, if it's hosting, if it's speaking at a convention the next day, if it's talking about being in a documentary, I'm talking about my weekend. If it's being on set all next week, and then cooking dinner and picking up kids from school, then I'm going to try to do all of those things and try to be my very best at each of those. So, it's just how I'm made up. And I look back over my life, I've always been, my parents, I come from a strong black woman and black man, 2-parent home that really raised my brother and I to be just outstanding people and outstanding individuals, not just in what we do, but in who we are. And so I think that is just a testament to how they raised us. And I'm grateful to each of them for that.
I want to know your origin story. I want to know, like, comic book number one. Who was Rashan as a child, like the 12-year-old Rashan?
Ooh, so I have a 12-year-old now, so I'm looking at her like she's very much like who I was always just an overachiever. I've always been, the girl that wanted it all. I was in the school play, the queen of the all. I was the queen of something for Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, the Queen of Hearts. That's what it was. Acting in that, and also being awarded the academic superstar. And I was at a white school, then predominantly white school, so it was an M to M situation. So minority to majority, we got bussed out, and so to be awarded the academic honor when I was in the 7th grade, because back then elementary was from kindergarten to 7th. To be awarded that, just always just being ambitious. But I was that kid like at 3 that knew I wanted to have a microphone in my hand. Like I wanted to be, in front of the camera in some way, shape, or form. I was that ham child, like, oh, look at Rashan, there she go. And, everybody knew that I was going to be in the arts and in some capacity. But, journalism took me there, and now, the world has kind of opened up from my journalism background. So yeah, as a child, I was one of those kids that was involved in all the sports, swimming, soccer, not swimming, soccer. Yeah, swimming, soccer. I played basketball. I was jazz, tap, ballet, all of that. And so it was just normal for me to just be doing something all the time. I was never idle, never.
I love you guys' generation. My sister went to Hampton from 91 to 95. That's how I originally got hip to HBCUs, and you guys' generation is just special. And then HBCUs at that time were so special. If you have to compare how HBCU were in the 90s and then this kind of renaissance that we've had over this last 5-10 years, how would you compare the two eras?
Wow. I think, my parents went to Delaware State, so HBCUs have always been ingrained in my DNA. And I have this Hillman sweatshirt on because you talk about, them talking about Delaware State. And then I grew up in the 80s where those years I was very impressionable. So seeing a different world in Hillman, it was a big deal. So the comparison, wow. I just saw a meme on Instagram that said, I bet you the 90s, you know, how it was in the 90s as a Rattler was something different. And I see everybody from the 90s like, yeah, it hit different. It hit different. It just was so, I think because we had, I don't know, the amount of pride we had. Nobody, you know, everybody's talking about HBCUs now, but all we had was us and our community to talk about HBCUs and to understand the indelible mark it makes on your life and to really grasp the concept of community. That was the 90s, and you're coming out of that 80s era, and you know, and you're approaching the 2000s. So we just had that mix of a little bit of old and about to be new, but it was completely ours, if I can explain it like that in layman's terms. But I look back on that time, and I was at FAMU from 93 to 97. So I got like that, you know, that early 90s, the latter part of the early 90s and the beginning of the late 90s. So I feel like I got that real sweet spot. But, you know, I think each era has its own personality. But the thing that like brings us together is our love for one another, our love for our people, our love for our institutions, and knowing that this is something that we could always call our own. And nobody can take that away from us. Like nobody could ever take that away from us. So I wouldn't say there's a, you know, of course there's going to be a difference, because we're going to, 90s Rattlers going to be like, okay, yeah, y'all cute or whatever, but the 90s Rattlers, we got it in. But of course, the 80s Rattlers would tell us that, like, we can still drive through set, you know, all of that. So I don't know. I just think that there's always going to be some beautiful commonality amongst each era in HBCUs. And they're all equally as beautiful, and all of them have their own personalities. But that one thing that brings us together is our love for one another, our love for community, and our love for our schools, for sure.
Now, I'll tell you what I would say.
Okay.
I would say, since you were there from 93 to 97, it was because of you all that made FAM so great, because we won College of the Year in 97.
Yes, we did.
So you have class of 98 that came in, but they hadn't seen the College of the Year yet.
Mm-hmm.
My class was class of 99 coming in. And we had so many elite people, because when we were making our decision on what school we were going to, it was because you guys had set the standard.
Yeah.
From 93 to 97 for FAM to win College of the Year. Yeah. So we had so many talented people coming in 99. So we got a chance to experience the late 90s and then those early 2000s, which was just such a special time.
It's very special. I mean, but you talk to these babies now, like 2022, they be like, hey, this is my school, you know. So it's all about perspective. And I love, you know, you just reminded of it when you go back to FAMU, because everybody has their own, you know, era. Like you're going to have the 90s parties, you know what I mean? You're going to have the late 90s parties. You're going to have the 2000s parties. And then now these new babies, they're going to have the 2015 parties, and everybody has their own, just those silos. But, you know, it's the love is equally the same in each of those silos. It's just great. You see the smile on my face. Like the way I feel about FAMU and my HBCU experience is something that I cherish it. I cherish it. And I, you know, I'm a 10th grader now, and she came to homecoming with me and my husband this past homecoming, and I think she might be a Rattler. She might be a Rattler or a Bison, but she is definitely going to go to a black school for sure. I'm about 95% sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you said that you were into sports growing up, and I've spoke to a lot of high achievers that were into sports growing up.
Yeah.
And I know you're big on sports, especially for young women, because you have a nonprofit that works around little girls getting into kind of I shouldn't say off brand, right, but not normal sports, non-traditional.
Yeah.
My niece plays lacrosse. She's a college lacrosse player.
That's awesome.
And I really think it has helped her in being an all-around person. What is it about sports that creates high achievers?
Oh my goodness. If you look at many women who are in corporate America, I mean, several entrepreneurs, like if you just look at a woman who you deem to be an outstanding leader, if you look at her resume or bio, I would say 7 times out of 10, she played a team sport. There is something about a sport in general. There's something about literally and figuratively knowing how to win and lose, how to fall and get back up, how to work together collaboratively as a team. And when I swam, so of course there was an individual sport, but always keeping your eye on the wall and keeping your eye on the line at the bottom of the pool, staying focused on your race. Those are transferable skills.
Yes.
That you see play out in each and every life that has really, really gained the type of experience you gain from being in a sport. I owe everything to Florida A&M University swim team. I was there. I swam all 4 years at FAM, from August to February. Every single year I swam. We had the longest season. We started when the football team got there for preseason, and we ended when they were getting ready to go back to spring ball, you know? So, and we swam twice a day. And I had this life as a collegiate student athlete, but still did all of the other things too. So I look back on that experience, and it just really was a preface to how my life is today. I looked at my schedule today. I had literally 7 things to do. They were all on the schedule, but that wasn't any different from when I was at FAM and I had 7 things to do. Whether it was swim practice, well, it was swim practice. I had to go to class. You go to the calf, you come back to swim practice. You got sorority meeting, you got step practice, you got Queen of Orange and Green, you got to go to the court meeting, you know, all of those things. And then you get back up and you do it the next day. Those things help me become who I am today. So a day like today is not foreign. I've been doing it. So being a student athlete gave me this discipline that I don't know I would have gotten had I not been an athlete. And the fact that I don't ever want to not be healthy or never want to not be in shape because of having been an athlete my entire life.
Who introduced you to sports and swimming?
My daddy.
My
daddy.
Was he a swimmer?
So yeah, he swam a lot. He didn't swim competitively, but he grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. So the beaches, they grew up swimming in the beaches. You know, it was the Jim Crow South, so they only had a particular beach that they could go to. But he just had a love for water. Introduced me and my brother to the water early. I started swimming when I was 3. I started swimming competitively when I was 5. And back then in DeKalb County, you know, summer league swimming, there weren't a lot of little girls swimming at the time, especially not a lot of black girls. So I was swimming with the boys when I was 5, but right around the time I was 6, there was more little girls coming, and he coached our swim team. It was a mixed swim team. So it was, you know, they taught us like how to be able to coexist. We didn't know, you know, I hate when people say they didn't know race, but you know, when you're kids, like you're just swimming. And he was the coach. I swam with him. I mean, I swam with him throughout my whole life, but then I started becoming more serious and started swimming year round and getting with the AAU teams and USA swimming teams and all of that. But my dad introduced me to swimming, and then I played soccer and basketball and softball, and the jazz, tap, and ballet it's just always been involved in something. Always. So yeah, my parents and funny story, my mom is a football guru. She actually coached a Pop Warner team at our local park and took the boys to an undefeated season. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad is a legendary, retired now, high school football coach. He has a stadium named after him here in Atlanta, in Decatur, William Buck Godfrey Stadium. He sent over 350 boys to school. Majority of them went to HBCUs. He sent a lot of kids to FAMU. My dad is a legend here. He is a legend. He's a Georgia Association Hall of Fame coach. Like, he's got all the things. He's that guy. So sports have been a part of my whole life. My brother went to Tennessee State. He was All-American punter. So, sports are big. My girls are softball players. My husband's a track coach. Sports are everything here. We're looking forward to, the upcoming AFC and NFC championship this weekend, the Super Bowl. That's just us. That's our family.
Who do you have? Do you have the Rams and the Chiefs? Like me?
I mean, I really would like to see the Rams do their thing. Yeah, the Rams and the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah. I just hope that everything is just as good as it has been leading up to this point.
I have a feeling it will be. Last weekend was unbelievable.
Oh, I mean, if you are any type of football fan, last weekend will probably go down in history for like one of the best weekends in professional football ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Why did you choose FAMU?
Oh my goodness. So I applied to 4 HBCUs: Tennessee State, North Carolina A&T, Jackson State, and Florida A&M University. I got into each of them. I got an academic scholarship to Jackson State, and I just got in as a regular student to Tennessee State and North Carolina A&T. And FAMU at the time. My SAT score shot up. I took the test one more time, and then I became eligible for the presidential scholarship under the late, great Dr. Humphreys. I applied for a presidential scholarship, got a presidential scholarship, and then somehow the swim coach got wind of the presidential scholar that could swim, who could swim. Called from the swim coach, got more money from being a student athlete. So I got 3 scholarships: presidential, I ended up getting a journalism scholarship, and I got a swimming scholarship. So I chose FAMU. But my god sister went to FAMU, and my godmother and my godfather, they all are from a FAMU family. So when I was in the 10th grade, little feedback, sorry. When I was in the 10th grade, I went to homecoming and hung out with her the whole weekend. I said, oh God. And she had an apartment off campus. And her mama them just let me be with her the whole weekend. I said, oh yeah, I think this is where I need to be. This is where I need to be. Mm-hmm.
I was a little young when my sister was in school, but from 96 to 98, I would go with my cousin who went to Morehouse. And I hung out with him, and I was in high school. We were going to a lot of different places where Club SO was around, Club 112. It's just a lot of different things I got a chance to do. And I said, I can't focus in Atlanta, but I'm going to a HBCU. So I kind of had that experience too. You got to experience it.
You have to. You have to see why people feel the way we feel. Because if you can't see it, you can't understand it. You will never be able to understand it if you have never experienced it. So, I know the conversation, there's been plenty of conversations of some of our brothers and sisters who chose PWIs, and that's fine. I'm sure your Black Student Union was amazing. I mean, it's no shade. I'm just saying, there is nothing like, it's just nothing like it. It's just nothing like it. And it's fine. It's totally fine. Everything's fine, guys. It's fine. It's fine. Kudos. I've got many friends who chose that route. I just wasn't one of them.
Same here.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to pledge Alpha Kappa Alpha?
Well, I had been influenced by my mother. My mother pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha in 1965 at Delaware State University. So my whole life, I was just around the pink and green. I mean, she would take us to sorority meetings, me and my brother. because my dad was coaching. And I just remember it was like the conference room area of the local Macy's. It was Rich's back then. And I just remember like, oh, this meeting is so long. And at the end, as a kid, you don't really know cadence or like, the rhythm of the song. And now that I know our national hymn, of course, I've known it for 27 years. But I remember the ladies singing around in the circle, Alpha, Kappa, Alpha. So I was just like, I was influenced by that my entire life and seeing my mom's scrapbooks. My dad is an Omega as well. So like their old school scrapbooks, we would go through those a lot. And I would see her and like it's beautiful, like they had like these satin like bell bottom pants. They were green and like little pink tops, and everybody was just fly. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I didn't even really know any other sororities growing up. I mean, I learned a little bit later on. I was like, oh, okay, it's other sororities. But I didn't, once I started doing my own research, I was like, oh, okay, there's 3 other sororities. But when I got to FAM, I was like, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to do in my sophomore year. When you've been kind of, when you've been raised around it, that's what you know. And so that's what I did in the spring of 1995. That's right. March 12th, 1995. Nice.
What is it about fraternity and sorority members that make them high achievers? Is it the selection process or the process that you go through when you get in?
I think obviously there is a certain standard or certain GPA and certain qualifications that you are expected to have to even be able to apply. And I think once you get in, because you learn so much, not only because you chose that particular fraternity or sorority, but you start to learn how to deal with people. You start to learn how to make things happen despite, well, you learn how to really be, work as a team. If you are going to serve the community and have real sisterhood, you have to work at that. If you're going to serve the community and have real brotherhood, you have to work at that. I think a lot of people think that, oh, it comes automatically and all that. No, once it's almost like when you get married. Once you pledge and you go over, that's when the real work starts. Once you get married, that's when the real work. Who are you going to be? Are you just gonna wear your letters? You gonna stroll? It's plenty of people doing that. But how are you going to make a difference? And I knew that I wanted to be different. I mean, I remember even at FAM and Beta Alpha, we would go to the local Boys and Girls Club. We would mentor those girls. I still remember those girls' faces that we were there every single week. I mean, I remember just doing things in the community and knowing that, okay, this is what it's all about. Of course, it's going to be about the fun and being cute and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't one of them kind of people. Like, I like to work. I like to step hard. I like to do those things. I like to be in the community. But when you understand what it's about, I think that's how you benefit from it. And I think because you learn that early, especially as an undergrad, learning how to do the business of the fraternity and sorority, that's what allows you to be the achiever that you are, if you do it right.
I agree.
You do it right. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it right. So I like to be an example for other young Alpha Kappa Alpha women, and not just Alpha Kappa Alpha women. I know I've had a lot of mentees who pledged other organizations, but they always say because of the way you worked for yours, or because of the way how you showed up for yours, even though that's what I didn't want to do that, I want to be like you in the way that you represent yours in mine. So no matter what you decide to pledge, which is why I started my brand Kusora, because I wanted people to see that we are more alike than we are different. I wanted us to have a safe space for commonality, because there has been a lot of dissension over the years. We don't have time for dissension. Not as a people. We got so much going on. So that is why I chose what God placed on my heart to create Kusora and Kubra, because we got to be cool with each other so that we can make sure that what we are doing is moving the culture forward and moving our people forward.
And I've noticed that people that aren't in my organization, a lot of times they can support just as much or even more than some people within, your own organization. It's a
Big
it's a
facts.
it's a funny thing. So, I
Yes.
think that's a good thing you're doing with Cool Soror. Now, how did you approach Cool Soror?
Mm-hmm.
Did you approach it from I want to get some ideas out. I want to talk to different people. I want to just do a podcast because podcasts are what's going on now. What was your approach to it? And then now that you've navigated through it, because I have a podcast and podcasts aren't easy. They
Yeah.
aren't easy to grow. It's no real hack that you can do. How have you approached it? And then I saw what you have done with some of the merchandise, and that's some high level stuff you're doing right there. So I know it's a bigger vision than just, talking and have a conversation. What was your
Yeah.
approach?
So, God, when probably really like with your brand, you just it's placed in your lap. You're like, oh wow, I remember where I was when God downloaded Cool Soror to me. I was walking to Top Golf. I had on a Louis book bag. I had on some I don't know if I had on some J's or something, but I'm a tomboy, and I had on like some, I don't know, a sweatshirt. I love a hoodie. I love a hoodie. And my hair was like real fresh. I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow. It ain't right now, but it's cute enough for the show. And I said to myself, man, you such a cool soror. I was like, what? What do you mean? So before I even went, I was going to a party. Before I even got to the party, I stopped by the bathroom at Top Golf. And I went to Instagram, Twitter, and GoDaddy. And I reserved all of it at that moment before I went to the party. Because I was like, that's mine. I got to make sure nobody else has that right now. So I went to Facebook too. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'll think about it later. At first I was like, it's going to be a brand. It's going to be cool. And I was talking to my business partner at the time. Well, he's still my great friend, but he is like such a mastermind when it comes to marketing. He's been trying to get me to do a podcast for a long time because of my radio background. I wasn't, technically in radio at the time. This was in 2015 when I came up with the idea. And I told him, I was like, yeah, we could do the merchandise. And then, because we're not like using any crests and anything like that, we don't have to be an authorized vendor. I don't have money for that right now. All of that. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. But I think you should do a podcast where you talk to Black women about their journeys and their lives. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And literally that's how, so I started it in 2016 before this whole onslaught of podcasts, and it blew up. It blew up. And so when I started Sister Circle, though, which was in 2018, I had to slow down. I was doing 2 episodes a week. You already know how 2 episodes a week could be, right? Rolling it out, getting it. I had a great team, everything, and everything kind of slowed down a little bit. And so now I'm just getting back. No, I kept it going, and I still have it going, but I was doing it every week. But then I realized that I wanted to do a video podcast. So I did a video podcast with Melissa Mitchell and did some other things. And now did one with our national president, Dr. Glenda Glover. And so now I'm about to relaunch Cool Soror with the audio and video coming up in March. So we're recording some shows in late February. So continue to tell these stories, but I'm going to bring it, I'm going to do more celebrity driven. So I'm going to do Cool Sorors and entertainment. So, I have a wish list of cool sorors from every organization that are in the entertainment space. And then we'll go to cool sorors in business, like people in the C-suites, like up there. Not to say that I'm not going to continue to do my everyday cool sorors who are making it happen, but you do have to continue to elevate. And I think it's time to really just, push the needle a little bit and do shorter seasons. So I'm not killing myself. Okay. And then just up the ante just a little bit, but still cater to my core audience who were there for those lovely everyday stories, but still give them a little bit like, oh, okay, I forgot she was that type of thing. And with the brand partnership with Shop LHP, I know them very well from, the businesses that they've had in the past, and now Shop LHP is doing great with Tahir as the lead. But I've known the entire company and their family for quite some time, and so I reached out to them and I was like, "Hey, I got an idea. What do you think about?" Because I had T-shirts and I had smaller things, but I'm like, I need something fly. I need something to match my fly.
Yep.
I need quality. And LHP is just quality. It's quality. It's quality across the board. And they love the idea, and we partnered, and it has really blown up. It's really blown up. Wait till we roll out this cool bra, though. Oh!
I'm gonna give you one of those.
I already know you are. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah. Shop LHP is real dope, and they've been around for a while. And I don't know them, but I know them. I know everybody via Instagram. They're real dope. I think we may have talked before.
Yeah.
Now you're everybody's home girl. Let's talk a little bit.
Okay.
How do you stay focused on your core audience? But me and you both know names is what drive things.
Yeah.
And when you start to get guests that don't really have the name recognition you want to support.
Yeah.
But when you do all this work and it doesn't get the traction that you need, it can kind of be a little bit frustrating. So you want to do the celebrities and you want to do people that have this name recognition. How do you balance pushing what you need to push to get your name out there more and supporting people that are early in their journey?
I think you can do both. I think you can do both. And I have like if I went the name route from here on out, the work I've done in the past will speak volumes because everybody who has followed this journey knows what I've done in the past. And I've had the thing about it is, while we know the game and the celebrity game and all of that and the name game, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Some of my most compelling podcast episodes are just people telling their truth. I got a Neo who had a stillborn, and she talked about her grapple with God. That right there, that episode still goes down to me as one of the best I've ever done. One of the best I've ever done. I got a homeboy, one of my best guy friends, Kappa, went through a divorce. And he's a comedian, actor, my man Rob Minger, amazing. His episode was 2 hours long. One of the best episodes I've ever done, hands down. Will Packer's interview was fantastic. Rob Hardy's interview was fantastic. Sherry Riley, Keisha Walker. I mean, countless people that I've had on my show. I've had names. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I'm putting the theme on it, I think it'll wrap it up with a bow. But I've had everybody. I've had a lot of people. And I've always valued each interview the same. And I've treated each interview the same, which is why the universe continues to bless me, because I treat everybody the same. No matter what you do, where you are, that is why I know I'm continuing to stay blessed in my life, because I don't make a difference. I don't make a difference. And I know people are like, well, you just said you're going to have names. I'm like, yeah, I'm elevating. I'm doing this. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to again, make it a theme kind of thing. But I think if you balance it right, you treat people the same, you can only gain respect from that. You can only continue to be blessed from it.
And it's probably because anyone that's had any level of success, someone gave them a shot.
Yes.
Who was the first person to give you a shot?
Will and Rob. Freshman year. There was a line outside of, what's that building? It was the student union then, I guess. I was a freshman, fresh Bob. I'm from Atlanta, because we got a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? Everybody from Atlanta back then used to dress like the TLC girls. So, we guess shorts, we slouch socks with Tim's on, we got herringbones on, heel
Yes.
shirts, you know what I mean? Like the Atlanta girls, we were the shit. Sorry, didn't mean to curse, but we were. And so I walked into that audition, being me, auditioned for this role, Alice, who played opposite Jay Carter's character, and I got the role. And it changed everything. That changed, Chocolate City changed everything for Will and Rob. But it did. They gave me a shot, and they continue to give me shots to this day. Will just gave me a shot to open up ESPN First Take when he got when he had his amphitheater dedicated this past homecoming. He tapped me. He was like, "Yeah, I really want you to do the intro to ESPN First Take. I'm gonna have them set it up." I was like, "Okay," And it's crazy because I auditioned for First Take. I forgot what year it was, but I was in the audition cycle with Carrie Champion. Mm-hmm. And Carrie talked about it on the interview. It was like a few of us. It was me, Mel Hill, Carrie Champion. I flew up to Bristol, everything. I did the whole interview with Skip Bayless and Stephen A., all of that. So to be able to intro that show at homecoming for Will Packer, and I just hosted the whole unveiling ceremony 2 hours prior. Yeah. It just continues to. It continues to pay itself forward. The decision to be a Rattler, the decision to be an HBCU graduate, the decision to walk across the highest of 7 hills.
What was that experience like? I didn't get a chance to make it down there, and I was really mad that I didn't get a chance to make it down this year for homecoming. Tell me about that, because I heard about it and I saw it, and I really had a lot of FOMO with that.
Yeah, everybody who didn't come had FOMO.
Yeah.
And I understand the people that didn't come, and I didn't rub it in anybody's face because it was, the COVID cases were going back up, and well, no, we were at a little standstill then. That was before Omicron came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was okay.
But my thing was, and my rationale was, I never was not going to go. I was always going to go, and I was vaccinated, and I had just had COVID, so I had a breakthrough case. So I was like, oh, me and these good antibodies are going down to Tallahassee. Okay. So, and then I also thought about the people, especially in my era. I said, I know the people in my era are not going to come down to Tallahassee if they're sick, if they're not vaccinated, and whoever, wherever you are on the vaccination curve or whatever, if they're not vaccinated, I just know the people that I'm going to be around are going to be careful. And that's how I looked at it. But it was, when it said FAMU's epic return, I've been to a lot of homecomings. I've been to a lot of Atlanta games because I'm from here. That might have been the best one, if not my top 3. It was a big hug. It was a big hug that did not stop for 72 hours. From Will's unveiling to ESPN to him bringing all these celebrities to our campus. I hosted the stage right after it. Shout out to my girl Nikki Foster. She hooked me up with that. I was able to be out there with the young people. Hell, I look young as them. Right. I'm out there hanging out. I'm seeing people that from my hometown, like that I know we're gonna go, and I know their parents. They're like, Miss Rashan. I'm like, oh my God, it's like, and it was that. It was everything. It was everything. When whoever came up with the FAMU epic return, it embodied every single letter of that phrase.
So you're just going to keep rubbing it in.
Yeah, I am. You asked the question. You should. I think you should have just bitten. Just come on now, man. Come on now. It was great. It was great. Hopefully, I think 2022 is gonna be big, though. I think it's gonna be big. I definitely do, because me and my line sisters are literally. We got a groupie right now. We have a line sister that takes care of all of our rooms, and like everybody's already. We're booking everything up.
Yeah, once that schedule came out, every group me was like, "Hey, you better book now."
Book now. Look. My husband's cousin sent out a save the date to their wedding. It's in October. It's October 22nd. This is before the game. This is before the schedule came out. I said, "Oh, we're not going to that wedding because I'm not sure when homecoming is. So we're gonna go ahead and do the stuff prior to. We're not going." When that thing came out, it said the following weekend. I said, "Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go because it's the weekend before." But yeah, it's a thing. It's a destination.
When you talk to journalism students now that are matriculating through school, what advice do you give them to stand out if they want to be in entertainment?
I don't say that I would give them advice to stand out. I always say it is a marathon, not a sprint. I told my baby Ism that last night. I texted her. I'm on the board of an organization called Rising Media Stars, and it really develops young Black women who want to be in sports and entertainment. It's headed up by LaChina Robinson. She's a WNBA analyst on ESPN. Like I'm on that board, and so they're accepting applications for their third cohort, and they've had a lot of amazing sideline reporters and reporters who've come through this program. And I told her I wanted her to apply, and she was like, "Yeah, everything's, she's talking about, I'm going to my senior year." And she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, "Girl, relax, breathe." Because Instagram, microwaves, everything makes us feel like we have to have it overnight. I didn't get on daytime television until I was 42. I didn't get on regular TV every day until I was 42. Now I had some spots, anchoring, sideline reporting on set, but like what I've always wanted to do, 42 years old. Wait, was I 40? 41. Anyway, not saying that her journey or anybody else is going to be like that, but your journey is your own. And I think we get so caught up in looking at what everybody else is doing, thinking that we're supposed to be there, and I'm guilty of it too, when we just got to say, okay, this is mine. This is what I'm supposed to be. So as far as standing out, you got to just continue to be authentically who you are. I remember when I auditioned for Sister Circle, somebody sent my reel to the creator of the show, who was a white woman, ironically. I love her to death, but she was a white woman who created Sister Circle. And I sent her my reel. My reel had a CNN sit-down interview that I had with Frederica Whitfield, talking about that Ravens player, forgot his name, who got kicked out of the league because he abused his wife on the elevator. I forgot his name, but we were talking about that story. I did a Kobe Bryant story, just all of these things. I was sideline reporting, CBS Sports Network, all of my things. And I thought this was the best reel ever. Still a great reel. But she sat down, she took me to breakfast, and she is a news lady. She's been a news director. She's been around a long time. She's like, "Yeah, I liked your reel, but I don't know who you are." And I was like, "Huh? What do you mean?" But I was so focused on trying to be the Black Erin Andrews that I wasn't Rashan Ali.
Yeah.
When I started becoming who I am, being from Decatur, still articulate, but can listen to Jeezy, but also meditate.
Yeah.
And be both can interview Gucci Mane, but also interview Michelle Obama, and really showing all of my gifts instead of trying to be someone I wasn't. That's when I started to thrive. When I was like, let me be who I am. Let me be who I am. And one of my monikers or slogans is Rashan Ali, doing media differently. I'm not your typical journalist. I'm not. Just not. I might, if you follow me on Instagram, it's a lot. I posted a me in a Jeezy video today on my reel because I'm featured in one of his songs, Bury Me a G, check it out. I played a reporter in that. But I'm also, big on meditation and spirituality. But I also play a very promiscuous character in All the Queen's Men. I'm very diverse. I'm also going to be speaking at a Founders Day celebration this weekend and also featured in my sorority's documentary. But I'm not afraid to be who I am. And that's what I want to show people. I was afraid to be all of who Rashan was for so many years to the detriment of myself. And so if I could teach any girl, any young woman or man, don't be afraid to be who you are. We're varied people. We're very complex people. And I think society makes us feel like we're only supposed to be this. We are this. Everybody ain't gonna like all of this. But as long as you do, that's what matters. Yeah.
Cut clip. You compete in fitness competitions.
I do.
Talk me through your regular fitness routine and then talk me through when you're getting ready for a competition, because I lift weights, but I've never competed, but I know these guys turn into different beasts when it's competition time. So talk me through your regular routine and your routine leading up to a competition.
Man, I wish my family were here so they could tell you. That first competition was a beast because I was coming from being, and my trainer calls it, you were in general population. You were in Gen Pop. It took you got to work to get out of general population to be in a different type of group. So that first competition, my eating, my diet was so very strict because you're talking about losing weight and then carving your body. Okay. So that part was very difficult because it was a complete lifestyle change from being just someone who worked out. Now, mind you, I had done great work with my other trainer. I love her. She's my soror, Lauren. She's fantastic. When I did Sister Circle, she got me ready for Sister Circle. I was cut. But it's a different type of cut when you're training for a competition. So when I switched over, because she doesn't do that type of training, I switched over to another trainer to start training for a show. The eating, I had to give away one of my favorite things to do, which is to drink wine. I love wine, but wine is sugar. And once I decided to let that go, that was 12 pounds immediately. Wow. Gone. Wow. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do physically, that first show. But most gratifying thing when you get on that stage and you see your body literally transform, you're like, who is this? Because what people don't know, and what you know, because you lift weights and you've seen other guys do it, that peak week, what you look like on Sunday and then what you look like on Saturday of that same week is a different person.
Totally different.
Completely different person, because you're literally thinning your body out. You're dehydrating your body. You got a tan, Now you're building all these muscles up, but you have to literally squeeze every piece of water out of your body so that you can see the muscles. So you get on stage, you're like, oh my God, look at Rashan. How is she so cut? Come Sunday though, I'm gonna be cut, but I'm not gonna be cut like I was Saturday. And then come next Friday, you start celebrating, you start drinking again, you start eating again. You're not looking like that. I was 117 my last show. I'm 129 right now. This my thick. It's my thick, but it was. I'm in training now, but I'm building, so I get to kind of eat what I want because I'm trying to. In the bikini category, the separation of your glutes and your hamstrings are weighted more than anything. I've always had abs. I've always had a good back because I'm a swimmer. I wasn't a blessed black girl when it came to my glutes. That ain't my strength. So I have to eat. I have to eat a lot to build that muscle throughout this. So my next show is in May. So right now, I'm not eating that much. I'm not eating a whole lot right now because I'm going to be in production next week. So, for my character, I want to be a certain size for my character. But when we're finished shooting, which is February the 8th, I'll get back on creatine and I'll start building a little bit more. And I'll start, my husband liked when I'm in my little creatine state because I got a little bit more back there. But it's like we have to figure out a formula where that peak week where I don't lose too much. Last time I had gotten bigger, but I lost so much in that week that I got back thin and the booty part just went away. I was like, damn. So, but I love it though. I love it because I don't ever have to get ready and stay ready.
Let's nerd out right here a little bit.
Okay.
Are you doing high reps? Are you doing 20, 15, 12, 10s? Are you heavyweight on Mondays and Wednesdays? Like, tell me really what you're doing. Are you doing cardio? Are you running 4 or 5 miles?
So right now we are in a heavy cycle. So we're in a heavy cycle. So I'll tell you this. Yesterday I did reverse leg presses, 405 pounds. Right. But we started with whatever the 2 plates. I don't know. I just lifted. We started with a set of 20 to get my legs right. Then he kept adding on 4 sets of 10. And then we ended with 20 reps with a lighter weight. So we're in a heavy, heavy, heavy cycle. I did sumo deadlifts with a 110-pound dumbbell, like on 2 boxes, 4 sets of 10 of that. So we're heavy. We're in a heavy cycle right now. So we're building, but we just came off of a light cycle. So it was higher reps, lower weight. Now it's more, it's heavier weight. I'm sorry. It was higher reps. Yeah, higher reps, lower weight. And now we got lower reps, heavier weight. So we'll probably be on this heavy cycle for, I think, 4 to 5 weeks that he'll cycle back out. So when I get back from my production, that's when I'll start the creatine and the chicken and the black rice and the kidney beans, and like he's trying to pack on some weight. So
what's your favorite day? I love going in there and hitting chest, and then arms I like to, and then back day I'm like, I kind of dread it. We all have our favorite body parts to train. What's your favorite to train?
Bis and tris. Bis and tris for sure. I love my arms, and I like to keep my arms like really, really as cut as possible. I hate legs. That's what we have to work on the most. Legs are 3 days a week. That's when I'm with my trainer personally, and then he puts everything else in the app that I can do either upstairs. I got like a little, I got my Peloton. I've got like some free weights, and I've got this little hip thruster thing that I bought off Instagram called Booty Sprout. I did. And I do, it depends on where we are in the cycle as far as cardio. Because I'm a fast loser, he has to monitor my cardio because I will lose too much too fast. So right now, because I'm going into production next week and I want to look a certain way, my cardio is up. But when I get back, he's definitely probably going to cut cardio because he just wants me to build. Yeah. I love it. It's a science. It's a science behind the body. I love it.
It is. I try a diet called the slow carb diet. I got it from Tim Ferriss.
Ooh.
And it's where, so I'll do bacon and 2 egg whites with an egg for flavor for breakfast. I'll do a salad with some chicken. I'll try to do another salad because I need those two lunches kind of to stay okay.
Yeah.
And then at night you try to do vegetables and either beef or chicken.
Nice.
What do you like? What do you eat on a regular when you're working out, but not in the cut stage? So what is just to staying in peak in good shape for you? What does that meal look like for you? Those meals look like for you?
Yeah, I mean it's ground turkey, a vegetable, maybe a Brussels sprout, and the sweet potato. Like I would do that. Like today I had cod and broccoli and cabbage. I haven't done a whole lot of carbs this week, so I'm trying to be, again, just as possible for next week. But yeah, I mean, I may even do a salmon is such a fatty fish, so I try to like not do too much salmon, but like, I'll do a salmon. He never puts that on my diet because he feel for my body it may be too fat. He doesn't even put broccoli on my diet because it makes some women gassy in their pelvic area. So I do that, but I always do a nice light fish, a lean turkey, and a vegetable. That it's fine for me. I like it. For breakfast, I'll do egg whites with a little avocado and some spinach. And also like the little pico de gallo that I like to put on there. Just it gives it's just so delicious. Or I may do plain oatmeal with blueberries. That's good to me. I don't add any extra sweetener to my oatmeal. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat sugar or consume sugar. And when I do drink, but it's only tequila straight because there's no carbs in tequila.
That's my problem. My woman will wake up some days and say, "What happened to all the yogurt in the refrigerator?" I'll go crazy on yogurt some days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously crazy.
Yeah, that when I cut out dairy, everything. And I wasn't even a big consumer of cheese and all of that. And I don't drink milk. I choose I do almond or oat milk. But even that, I feel like it's giving me my youth back, just completely consumed, not like just like deleting it or eliminating it from my diet. And I just feel better. I look better. My skin is better. Like everything is better. Yeah.
I'm going to give you a first here.
Okay. A first. Okay.
I want to personally be the first to congratulate you on your upcoming 20th wedding anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
How important has it been in your journey, in your professional journey, to have such a solid foundation?
Listen, he just walked in too. That was perfect timing. Man, that guy is awesome. He's a good man. First
off, was it the first? Am I the first one to congratulate you early?
Yeah, I literally was talking to him about that yesterday. He's at the island in the kitchen doing some work or on his phone. I'm at the computer. I'm working on my speech for Saturday. I was like, hey, man, because we just real cool, right? I was like, hey, I saw one of our other couple friends. They about to celebrate their 20th. And she asked me what we doing for our 20th. I'm like, hey, what we doing? He's like, man, I was just going to worry about that on the 2nd. We got married on the 3rd of August. I was like, really, man? Thank you for saying that. That's awesome. It is special. He's an outstanding man, outstanding father. And I'm really blessed to have someone who loves me the way he loves me and loves our children and rears our daughters to be beautiful women, to allow them to see what how a man is to love you and to treat you. You can't, that right there is priceless. And then just thinking about like him this morning, just holding me, like in everything that this world gives us or we deal with in this world, to know that somebody has you like that is a blessing. It's a blessing.
What's next for you, Rashan?
Man, I'm not limiting myself to anything. I am really trying to live by the mantra that I heard from, I think, Wayne Dyer, one of my many books that I read. Be open to everything and attached to nothing.
That's a good one.
Be open to everything and attached to nothing. And I have to constantly tell myself that. This journey is social media and interviews will make you think that people have it, all together. But I have my struggles. I have my times where I was just crying in the car yesterday. Like, I have my struggles, you know, and I'm big on therapy. Meeting with my therapist tomorrow. You know, I want people to see that there's several sides to this life. There's several sides to this life, and don't try to fool your way out of it. Deal with it. Face it. I have to tell myself that all the time too. You know, yeah, face it, because I'm a happy person. I'm trying to make, you know, life all happy all the time. I mean, I know happiness is something you decide on ahead of time, but there are things that you got to deal with. You got to face them head on. And so I got to continue to do that. And so hopefully someone watching this will, you know, say, wow, she said face it head on. And hopefully that statement will help change the decision they could have made had they not heard me say it. There's a lot of that going on. So a lot of our brothers and sisters just saying they don't want to do it anymore. But you can. You know? You can.
Sean, I'm so happy for you and I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. This has been so amazing. I love being interviewed because I always want people to interview me like I would interview someone else. And you've done just that. So thank you.
I want to wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. And thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Continued success on everything.
Thanks, Rashan. Have a good one.
You too.
Happy 20th again. Remember, I was the first one to tell you.
You sure were. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.